Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If I look super high definition and good quality right now, it's because I am, and it's because I got a new camera this week and I'm so excited to use it and just give better quality YouTube videos for you. So I hope you enjoy and these are much clearer videos for you now. Also, sorry, I feel like there's like jackets on my door there and I feel like my room just always looks a mess whenever I come in here, but we move. And I just want to apologise as well because I feel like I've been behind on all of my videos recently. I'm not up to date on my schedule. I've got so many videos that I need to edit and it's just been a bit of a mess, and truth be told, it's just because I've been busy. Things have been opening up now in the UK, so we can go to like pubs outside, for example. We can like go on more walks with different people, like groups of 6, and I've been doing that and just kind of getting out there and stuff, so I haven't really dedicated that much time to my YouTube. And so on the weekends where I would normally be filming, I'm like now out doing stuff. Yeah, and also this week I got these basically like fake AirPods, like I don't know if you can see this. There you go. And then you open it and it's got like the 2 little things in there, you know. So I'm yet to try them this week. They're not charged at the moment. But yes, and I've had some exciting stuff going on this week. I've been to the pub a couple of times, which is super nice, and seeing friends and that, which is also really nice. The last couple of days, so at the moment it's bank holiday Monday. On Saturday, what did I do on Saturday? Oh, Saturday I went to Clapham and I saw my sister, which is really nice because she lives there now. She moved, she used to live in Pimlico, now she lives in Clapham, and spent the day with her, which was nice. And then yesterday, which was Sunday, I started doing my photography again. So if you've been following me for a while or if you're new, whatever, I used to do photography before I moved into the publishing industry. I did it kind of part-time on a freelance basis, and obviously in the last year I had a couple of events that were cancelled and they couldn't go ahead because of COVID. And yesterday was my first like proper event back into photography. So I used to work at a golf club behind a bar and I still stay in touch with them, and they were doing like this golf event thing where they're electing a new captain, and so I was hired to come and take photos of everyone, and it was really nice just to like ease me back into it. There weren't many people because obviously COVID restrictions, and it was like an outside meal and golf thing. I started at 8 AM, so I had to get up early, which I'm not that used to working from home. Normally I can just like fall out of bed. Sorry if my manager's watching this. Yes, it was really nice just like get back into it. I wasn't really nervous, but I was quite nervous going back into it because I hadn't done it for so long. I'd done a bit here and there and I tried to practice before it, but it was quite nice just to get it sort of over and done with my first event after a little while of taking a break from it. And then this morning I actually went back to the same place and I had to take some portraits of someone, so I did another hour or so today. So speaking on the lines of photography, I bought a new camera, as I mentioned, and I've been looking to get this camera for a while. I had seen some other YouTubers have got it. I'd done research and I narrowed it down to 3 or 4 cameras, and then this is the one that I got. So this is the Canon EOS M50. I also do have a DSLR that I'm not going to sell, I'm going to keep that, and I did have a vlogging camera, the Canon, I think it's WX500, but I think I will sell that just because I feel like I'm over that now. It's quite it's lower quality videos. If you look at some of my videos where I used that previously, it's quite pixelated. It's quite a few years old anyway, so I will probably get rid of that one and then use this one. And I'm really excited to use this one because it's got 4K video, it's got a flip out screen so I can obviously see myself if I look to the side there to make sure that I'm not blurry or whatever. And it just means my DSLR at the moment as well doesn't have an external mic output, so I was having to record my audio separately on another device, whereas this one I got the new Rode mic as well and I've attached that, and so I'm hoping that my videos from now on are going to be super high quality. So that is what I've been doing. I've been a bit busy this week, had a few things going on, and I meant to film this video a few days ago and I didn't, but here we are. Along the lines of the fact that I've been busy, it's also meant that I basically haven't done any reading, and I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, God, I really haven't done any reading at all. No, I really planned to have April as a month where I just read like 10 books or something, and I think I read 3 or not even finished 3, so a little bit not ashamed of that, but I just wish I'd spared more time to do that. I've just been in one of those reading slumps, and if you watch my last vlog as well, which was like a weekly reading vlog, I basically explained in there as well that I just feel like I haven't really been in the mood to do it, and I've been going to bed late, so then I didn't want to stay up even later reading, etc. But there we go. I'm just going to show you the books that I did read in April 2021 anyway. So first of all, I can't remember if I'd finished this in my last vlog or not, but I was reading 3 Women, and that was part of a book club that I'm in, so we all read that and discussed that together. And essentially my thoughts on that were, I did really enjoy it. It's really weird in the fact that it's non-fiction, but it reads like fiction, so it goes into loads of details about what the characters say, but the characters aren't fictional fictional. They are true people that the author has researched and looked into and basically retold their stories. It's essentially about 3 women who lead very different lives, but it kind of results down to the themes of sex and desire and womanhood. I would just say, as well as a trigger warning to anyone that hasn't read it yet, there are a few sensitive topics in there. So I think there's suicide, for example, there's alcoholism, there's sexual assault and abuse. So yeah, if you are looking to read that, I did really enjoy it, but I would just say go into it with an open mind that it probably will cover some things that might be a little bit sensitive to some people. It did take me a while to get into, and it's quite confusing because there are 3 characters and it swaps between them. So I think there's Sloane, Lena was it, and Maggie. Maggie, for me, I kind of resonated with the most, and she had a bit more of attention to, and more chapters written about her in the book, and so I suppose we kind of explored her life more. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy the others, I just found it quite confusing going back and forth between them and switching the chapters. I'm not alone in that as well. I thought maybe that's just me reading really like struggling, but in my book club pick we all kind of said the same thing. What actually really helped me is I had a notebook at the same time as reading it, and I had 1 page for each of the 3 women, and then every time I read a chapter I would write down what's been happening with them. So then once I got back to them again in the chapter, I would read, catching myself up on it, if that makes sense. It was basically just a way to note down what's happening with each of them so I don't get confused between what's happening with which character. But yeah, I'd probably give that, I think I gave that like a 4 out of 5 stars or something. It wasn't amazing. I mean, it's one, like, it's done really well in terms of sales and reviews and that, but it wasn't my favourite or anything. So then I moved on to My Sister the Serial Killer. Also, I just wanted to say as well that normally I would have the books up and show you guys, but I've actually been clearing out a load of my books at the moment because I just have so many that I'm not gonna reread or anything, and so I've sold a load of my books. And so 3 Women I have sold recently, just on my Twitter. If you do want to find out books that I'm selling as well, just follow me on Twitter. I'll leave my Twitter down below as well. So then the next one that I read that I also have like sold on again is My Sister the Serial Killer. This was actually a really small book. Again, if you watched my last vlog, which was a reading vlog, you would have seen, and I showed it up, that it was quite a small book, and so it was really quick to get through. I think it literally took me a day or 2. That one I did actually quite enjoy. Again, I'd say I probably gave that like the 3 to 4 stars. Again, it wasn't amazing. I feel like it's self-explanatory. The person that's writing it, her sister, is a serial killer. She's killed about 3 of her boyfriends, and it's about family loyalty and do you stick up for your sister even though she, you know, she's done this, etc. I just noted as well in my little book, I don't know if you can even read that, it's really short chapters, and again I mentioned this in my last video, but I find that really helps. I don't like it when there's big chunky chapters. I like small ones because I'm a child and clearly I still struggle to read. And then finally, I literally feel ashamed that this is literally all I've read, and I know there's people that have been like, oh, I've read so much this month, and someone that I watched recently, she said that she didn't read that much and she read like 10 books in April, and I was like, how are you saying you didn't read much? Like, the next one that I have, I tell you what, I was really planning on finishing this book before I filmed this video, but I didn't, and you know what, I wasn't going to put myself under pressure just to read it just so I can film this video. I can tell you what my thoughts are on it already, because I have almost finished. I've just got that much left to go. That will literally take me like half an hour, but I've literally not found that time yet. So, this is The End of Men, which comes out... Actually, maybe it's come out already now. Oh yes, so it came out like a few days ago. It's The End of Men. This is published by Borough Press, and I was kindly gifted to it, so thank you guys for sending it to me. It's quite a chunky book. I got it in paperback. It's quite chunky in terms of like it's tall and it's fat. I actually really enjoyed this one. So to give you a bit of background context what it's about, The End of Men, it's literally about the end of men. So it's about a virus, like a pandemic that hits the world, and it only affects men, and it's basically wiping out the whole male generation, population, whatever you call it. To be honest, like some people say, oh yeah, you know, I feel like it's a bit too early to be reading stuff like that, but I actually quite like it. Really weirdly, the author started writing it in 2018 as well, which is just a bit like, What I quite liked about this as well is that it's more of extreme than, obviously COVID-19 has been an absolute, I don't even know the words to describe it, but this kills a lot more people, and so I guess thankfully this is more of an extreme case of a pandemic, even though you think how could that possibly happen and be possible, but that is the case, and it's a case of as soon as someone gets it, within like 24 hours they will die from that virus. So it's basically about discovering that this virus is a thing. That's what happens first of all, and it's split into chapters that say like this one's called Panic, and then this one's like Survival, and so it does split it up. It's written from, each chapter is like different person again, but I kind of didn't focus on that too much because there are literally so many characters in it that I don't feel like you had to kind of get to know and remember what's happening with each or anything. You kind of pick it up along the way. So I did really enjoy that. First of all, they discover that this virus is happening, and one of the viewpoints is the person that treated what they call patient zero, so the first man that had this virus. Then it's about seeing it develop and seeing these men die, and then it's about going through how they're surviving with this and some of the families that have obviously lost loved ones, and then finally it's about how they're managing a few years later. As I said, I haven't actually quite finished it. I've just got a little bit more to go. I'm on page 335 out of 365. Okay, so I literally have 10 more pages, no, 30 more pages to go. But I just thought I'd share my thoughts on it so far because I have really enjoyed it, and I think it's so cleverly written. I think the author has thought about every possible thing that could have happened as a result of this pandemic. And I think you do have to kind of read it forgetting about what's happening in our lives at the moment and COVID-19, etc., because the things that this author thought of 3 years ago is insane. You think, how could she possibly have imagined that would have happened? Obviously, we've seen some of the things happen similarly with what's going on in the world right now, but it is just amazing. And obviously things probably were added in later to the time and stuff, but the majority of the fact that this book was written a few years ago is kind of crazy. How did the author think of these things that could have happened? That, you know, it goes into what happens with the National Health Service, it goes into what's happening in the government, it goes to what's happening in schools and families. And so I think the author has done incredibly well in terms of what they've included, what they've thought about would happen as a result of this, and I suppose just had a really wide, varied imagination and made it really realistic at the same time, because you think how, okay, a book about, you know, just completely getting rid of the male population, what's that going to be like? Is that just going to be, you know, completely far-fetched? But I don't think it is like that at all. As I said, I am almost finished, and I think this probably will be one of my best books at the moment of the year, just because I suppose it hits close to home, but in a nicer way, because you think it makes you more grateful. The things that are happening in this book are not as bad as what's happening right now, and I think that is so special to think that things are awful at the moment, but this book puts it into perspective even more, that we are so lucky with everything that we have right now. I'm so lucky to have my family around me, I'm so lucky to have my friends, to have a job, etc. And I think that this book has really proved that to me, that, you know, we can feel really, I suppose, like despondent and beaten down about what's happening at the moment, but what this book did for me and is doing for me is putting things into perspective, that we are so lucky at the moment and we need to be grateful for everything that we do have, because if the pandemic were worse, touch wood, it would never get worse, it could end up like this. So I'm not going to say more on it because I really do recommend it, and I would say go buy yourself a copy of it now. As I said, it came out a few days ago, so you can get your hands on it, and I've seen so much on Twitter about it as well, which is so exciting because obviously I've almost finished it and these people are only just buying it. If you are interested in getting that, I really do recommend it. Also, it's got such a beautiful cover. This is, as I said, a proof copy, but because obviously it's the end of men, it's got a man silhouette there, and then all these quotes are inside are quotes from review copies that have come from NetGalley, for example, and I think that's so clever from a publicity point of view, how you can use those reviews to create a proof like that. Also, massive congrats on the winner of my giveaway recently. If you haven't seen it already, I did a giveaway of Ellie Pilcher's book, What Planet Can I Blame This On?, which comes out on the 3rd of June 2021 by Hodder Studio. To enter that giveaway, you had to comment a planet emoji, and then I'd be in touch with someone at random. So congrats on my winner to that, and we'll be getting a copy in the post as soon as possible to make its way to you. So yeah, unfortunately that is all I have read. That is it. I don't think I have it with me, but the next book I aim to read is called Exciting Times. It's got like a little toothbrush on the cover. The reason that I've bought this book is because of my book club pick for May. So our meeting is actually in a few days time, and I haven't even started it. We're not going to talk about that. However, I'm on our WhatsApp group chat of the book club. Basically everyone is saying that they are not enjoying it and they're just not getting on with it. It's really hard to read and it's a massive Marmite book, and someone from work as well told me that it's kind of like Normal People where not really a lot happens, and if you watch my video from January you know that I just didn't like Normal People at all. But I think that is quite like a fairly small one, so hopefully I will read that within the next few days. Ready for our book club. I feel like I've just absolutely ranted for so long. I don't feel like I really have anything else to update you on, but that is what I've been reading at the moment. Thank you so much for your patience with me, guys, and you know, if I am slightly delayed at the moment with getting my videos out to you and doing enough promo, etc. online, I do apologise. It's just because I'm a human being. This is my hobby at the end of the day. It's not my job or anything, and I've been busy sort of like socialising, etc., which is obviously so important to all of us right now. Also, if you can see my hair right now, I've curled it. If you have been following me for a while, you'd have seen that I had extensions before and I've had them put back in. You will not believe that this took 7 hours to do. My amazing hairdresser and hairstylist did this for me a few days ago. So I had extensions in, so they're like little beads, they're called like micro ultra tips or something. So it's extensions so my hair feels really thick and really long and really healthy now, and I absolutely love it. And she did balayage on my roots and she dyed it and toned it and everything, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, so that is pretty much what's been happening in my life. That's what I've been reading at the moment. Thank you so much again for being so patient with me. Please do let me know if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned today, or what you're reading at the moment, or what you're planning to read, or etc, etc, etc. And I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you in my next one. Thank you, bye.